and welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy and I'm here with a pick a card reading for you. And today's pick a card topic is all about the person on your mind. No matter what the scenario is with this connection on your mind, it could be in no contact, maybe you see this person regularly, but today we're asking the question, what are their late night confessions, the truth that they can't say out loud about how they feel for you? Now we do have 3 piles to choose from here today, and we are drawing from the Entanglement Oracle deck. Pile number 1, it's a cassette player. It says, I have so much more to say. Pile number 2 says, I should have been more honest from the start. Pile number 3 says, I want to explore my dark side with you. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, of course my timestamps are always listed below. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1 today, but I do want to take a moment to just welcome back my returning subscribers and to welcome any new subscribers this month. Thank you for being here and thank you for your friendship. Be sure to drop your comments below for your chance to win a free tarot reading from me. And I do offer that as a way of a thank you for your presence here on my channel, and you just have to be subscribed to the channel, hit your notification bell, share this video, like the content, and I will respond beneath your video if you have been chosen as the winner of the free tarot reading, and I give you very clear directions on how to reach out to me and get the ball rolling. So for today's pick a card topic, pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3, late night confessions for you. How do they truly feel? The truth that they can't say out loud. I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to I have so much more I need to say, and this is your reading. Their late night confessions about this connection, the truth that they cannot say out loud. Now this is like a cassette that keeps going over and over and over in their mind. They may have been afraid to say exactly what they wanted to say in your connection in the past. This could be a no contact situation, but they are kind of stressing out or overthinking about everything that they feel for you, the attraction that they feel. So let's get some more details about this connection. Late night confessions for pile number 1. So please take the messages as they resonate and leave behind those that do not feel right to you. We have Temperance. We have the 8 of Cups. We have the Star. You do feel far away from this person. There could be a separation here for someone watching. We have the 6. Yes, because they're longing for reunions here. And this feels like a very innocent connection. Here's the 8 of Pentacles, and I just heard, I would like to work on that. That's truly what they're saying. I'd like to work on that. We have the 6 of Wands. We also have the Page of Swords. Now, one of the first confessions coming through at this time is that they are watching you. If you are separated from this person, for instance, they do have kind of knowledge about what's going on in your life. They could be watching your social media. They wonder if you're very happy. They say that they are also putting on masks of happiness. And they remember you from school days for someone watching too. It's like they remember you in class. They remember you from school days. There's a friendship here that exists. But I feel like this is what's speaking about. They keep going over and over in their mind this past energy, the past impact. And they're kind of idolizing the past a little bit right now too. Because what they're hoping for in reception to this video or to their late night thoughts is I don't even know if I can say the word, reciprocity. They want it to be mutual. Here we have the Devil. And they can't say these things out loud because there could be attachments here. There could be marriages here. There could be relationships here. So they're not allowed to say this out loud. The 8 of Cups is somebody who perhaps has walked away. But they can't deny the major impact that you're still having on them to this day. And they can't share this because it could have a negative impact in their environment, but you've left a mark. Even after they moved forward, they feel like they should have moved on from now or by now, and they haven't been able to do that. Because there is an inherent almost sexual message that comes through with the Temperance and the Devil together, because the Temperance mixes, it's alchemy, and we mix things together. And that's something that they didn't feel like they were ever able to do, was to breach the contract of friendship in some way and move into something more. They feel like they really dropped the ball or fumbled an opportunity here. And now they wonder if they're stuck in second best, if I'm being honest. There's a sense of working on karmic relationships. And they know that that should be where their focus is. They know they have a lot to lose in that environment, but that's why these are confessions. That's why they don't feel like they can say these things out loud. And they just keep going over in their mind, like on repeat, and trying to figure out what they could have done differently or what they could have said differently. And they feel like they've learned their lesson. Here's the Star. Major themes coming in for you. You may have had a major impact on this person. And they still have so much loyalty to you, even if they have to suppress it, even if they don't talk about it. The loyalty to you, the loyalty to the friendship is there. There's not much that could change their affection for you. Because they're one of the biggest confessions they have for you, Pile 1, is that they wonder if you were the one, if you were their person. Now, of course, there's no person that completes us. But they wonder if they dropped the ball at a really amazing opportunity, because the contrast between what they're building now and what they felt with you is apples and oranges. You have the Eight of Pentacles. And that's what they say, you are a benchmark of my failure. And they feel like they had years to do it. Like they didn't just know you for a month. They knew you for a few years, in the very least, before the separation occurred, because it does feel like it's something that they want to return to. And they're saying that they're using the internet. They said, a little bird told me, but it's not a little bird, it's the internet. So they've been watching you on the internet, but secretly. They're not liking your photos. They're not sharing anything. And they wonder if you're happy. Here's the Four of Cups. They wonder if this is mutual at all. And they're telling themselves that they're working on getting over this or getting over you. But they're also, honestly, they don't know how to do that. So they're kind of taking a bit of a passive approach to that as well, by allowing themselves to go back into the rumination of thought. Because they do have a lot that they want to get off their chest. Back of the deck is the Magician. We also have the Five of Swords showing itself. But they're also trying to give excuses or reasons why they didn't take action. You know, they were worried about rejections. They were worried about doubt. They were trying to keep themselves safe. And now they realize that that has only did them a disservice overall. Because here's the Three of Swords. They want to apologize to you. It's coming in reverse. Because they feel like they have to physically recover from you. Like there's a physical impact that you have on them and have on their experience. What is it that they can't say out loud, please? And I will say, with the Six of Cups, that is genuine love and care. It, again, speaks to innocence, but they'd like to work on that. We have the Seven of Swords. They're also saying that they lied to you. Again, because of conflict, and they felt like you lied to them too. And that's what they're kind of looking for. They're looking for clarity. They're looking to kind of break out of their confusion. They thought that they would find something bigger and better outside of this connection, but I feel like they found what they needed in a lot of ways. They found a lot of experiences. They found inspiration, but now they compare that to you, and it just feels like it falls short. They want to confess to having like the biggest crush on you as well, but they know that they took a passive approach. And again, they're blaming their own vulnerability. They're blaming inexperience at the time as well. They're also talking about like a conversation that you had, or something that happened between the two of you in and around a holiday. Could have been Christmas, could have been New Year's. It's like they were choosing that moment. They had chosen a moment to say something, and then the conditions weren't ideal. The conditions weren't perfect. It was around a holiday. It could have been around, and they're really highlighting like Christmas time or the winter season. Here's the Two of Pentacles. And they want you to know that there's a part of them that's still holding a space for you. They have a lot of responsibilities in their life, but they're still holding a space for you here. And you still impact them greatly. Even if it's been years since we've seen each other, there's still such a strong impact that you've had on this person's life. And they think about you, I feel like almost daily or every other day, they're saying. Because it's like they miss you. There's so much loss. And they're even saying, you don't even have to be interested in a relationship with me. I just miss my friend. That's what they're claiming. Now, I think it goes a bit deeper than that. But they're saying, you don't even have to miss me in the context of a relationship. I just miss my friend. They're also, again, they're highlighting almost an argument that came in, or an argument that you might have had. This could have been an argument that they had with themselves, but it does feel like for someone watching, there was like a little squabble or an argument that you may have had. And the argument wasn't even about what you were arguing about. It was about, again, underlying frustrations, underlying feelings. And again, there's an apology that comes in through that, because they didn't make you feel supported during that situation. They thought that you were disinterested in the relationship. That's what they're also saying. And they have regrets because they didn't look for clarification and they didn't look for a solution to that. But they thought that you were disinterested in a relationship and that you wanted to maintain a friendship. But there's so much mourning that comes in right now with the Five of Cups. And they just miss their friend, is what I'm hearing. I miss my friend, my best friend in some cases. Here's the Temperance. Back of the deck is the Six of Wands. And they are going through the motions right now. You know, they're here at the Six of Wands. This is speaking sometimes of marriage cycles that have come through, perhaps for both of you. So you both may be connected to other people. They wonder about your happiness right now within the context of third party. There's the Page now in reversed. They are claiming that they're not necessarily interested in resurging anything physical. They're also blaming their own immaturity. They're saying, I was really immature back then, so I just wore a mask. I was really immature. I didn't have enough experience, or I was ill-equipped. I'm just wearing this mask. If here, I'm getting over my fears, and I hoped that you would wait for me. They thought that they had more time, and they just allowed their anxiety to overrun them. But it was always you. There's the Yin card. It says here, I'm working hard on myself. The Eight of Pentacles. It was coming in the reversal. Sometimes that can speak to like somebody who was looking for perfection, somebody who was looking for the perfect moment, or they were a perfectionist, or they didn't feel like they had enough to offer because they said that they were too lazy about it. But the truth is, they say that they love you. They thought at the time that you were better than them. They think now that you're better than them. You deserve someone better than I am. But King of Cups energy, a lot of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. A lot of Cancer coming through with the moon. They understand what love is now. This does feel like somebody who met you in youth. It says here, I'm not waiting a second longer. And we have, you're the one that cut me out. Now, there's a strong pull to communicate with you, but they are kind of intimidated by doing that. You may have blocked them in the past. You may have walked away from the connection, or the friendship, rather. And they're saying that at that time, they were just on the brink of action. But that sounds a little bit like scapegoating. It was easier to fantasize than it is to make it real. And so I kept so much of myself hidden from you. But they feel like you knew anyway. They're like, I think that you knew how I felt. It says, I couldn't catch you because I fell too with the Tower. And I feel, again, that there's something mutual going on in your life right now. There could be, again, mutual relationships, or they think that you're in a relationship because they've been watching your social media closely. And the Tower also speaks to epiphanies as well that came in perhaps after the fact. Epiphanies of love when they recognized what love was. I wish that I'd made better choices in life and love and in connection to this relationship. Because this is what they believe. You were meant for me. Again, back of deck, 9 of Pentacles. You deserve someone better than me. What's poking out here? If I called you, would you answer? Now that's Judgment in reverse. You are a weakness for them. They're afraid of you to actually call, to be honest with you, because they don't know if they could resist. If you were completely green light and really wanted something more, you're a bit of a weakness for them, but they do have a fear of change. And that fear of change is something that has followed them through time, I feel like, in this connection. Oops. We have here, I want to be a queen. Stating your sovereignty, declaring freedom, and passing a test. Number 33. You're showing the Cheshire Cat with Alice. Someone with a great smile, but someone who also keeps us guessing. This person could also be representing that person as well. We have impossible things, working through disbelief, imaginative leaps, and a fresh perspective. And there has been sort of the rejection of perpetual youth here. They're showing the rocking horse, and there's been transformation from the time they were small. They don't feel like it's necessarily possible to move forward here because it is still easier to fantasize than it is to make it real. But they're attempting to try to attain or gather a fresh perspective. They want to be able to move forward or to at least not feel the weight of the connection overall. Oops, lost on the floor. We have express your love coming in the reverse. It fell to the floor. It says, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And we have past life relationship. You've known each other before. And that is their biggest regret. I feel like their biggest regret in this connection for you, Pile 1, is not saying something. Not getting it started. Not initiating the cycle. They can't say that out loud right now because they feel like it's impossible. But that is ultimately what they're kind of going over and over in their mind, is this past life energy, how you impacted their current situation. We do have pay attention to red flags, the signs. We're cautioning you. We also have, again, past life connection on the back of the deck. They do feel like, first of all, that there were signs between the two of you now that they look back, but at the time it's like they hadn't trained their brain to even see them. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. Late night confessions. The truth they cannot say out loud. We have the all in sitting in limbo. And they can't say it out loud because it would disrupt their balance now, perhaps in new foundations. Part of what they wanted, and they still want to say more, but there's still more challenges to overcome. And they say that there's a lot of risk in expressing something, and to even, it's like they wish that they could go back, but now there's concern for a home or a foundation that has been built. So they feel like they have to almost get used to this new balance or new normal. We have it is what it is. We have Z, G, O, C, and X. We have the leaf of change. We also have the hospital here. Could also be, it was flipped over. It kind of looked like an institution. We also have unfinished business. But this is a marble that I found in my garden, like under the soil, and it has a great big black mark through it. So there's like a reference of like a stain on my credit or a stain on my opportunities. This was a benchmark of failure and I didn't take it. Oh, and that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your, oh, there's here we have empowerment here with the flower as well. I didn't even see that. But that is what I have for you today. Please drop your comments below for your chance to win a free reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell, share this video, like this video. It helps me to bring you more content. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading, and I do update that shop daily. But come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to this card that says, I should have been more honest from the start. And these are the late night confessions of the person on your mind, what they cannot say out loud. So here is, I should have been more honest from the start. So let's get right into your reading. For pile number 2, what are their late night confessions of the person on their mind? Here is the Temperance. Now, the tiger for me is always a symbol of the divine feminine, of the Empress. And there's a risk associated with the tiger as well. And it's like they're biding their time. Now, I mentioned this in pile number 1, that Temperance can be a very physical card because it's alchemy and it's mixing things together. So there's a sexual element to that as well. But the risk is also there. There is the tiger again, the 9 of Wands. And they're saying that they hold back. They said the claws are out. So they could be referencing other divine feminine energies, like risks between choosing you over someone else, perhaps, or what the consequences will be. The claws will come out. We have the Ace of Wands. And some of these confessions are very, very fiery. Like, they're very physical. They're very sexual. They're talking about specific physical acts that they would love to be able to experience with you. And how, again, these are not just one inspiration that brought them here to this perspective. They have these repeatedly. This Ace of Wands here, you can see that they have almost what looks like the stigmata on their hand. So it's like the Hanged Man, where they're holding themselves back. But it's out of worry and fear that they don't allow all those desires from their sacral chakra to come alive. It's almost, it feels like they would lose control and then lose control of the situation. And they're kind of in a bit of a victimhood about it. They're saying that they would look like a traitor, and that's why they can't say these things. We have the 10 of Swords, and it feels almost devastating to them. Now, with the 10 of Swords, you can see that it's there's a horse, which represents freedom of choice, but they don't really feel like they have freedom of choice. They're saying that it would result in a death cycle. It would result in major, major changes, and that's why these have to remain confessions, regretfully so, because they want you to know that you make a huge impact, that you are special to them. There's the beautiful unicorn. But now they're showing me that movie, Death of a Unicorn. I don't know if you've seen that with Paul Rudd. And it's a very gory movie. It's a very gory movie. And it sort of is showing, there's a scene in that movie where the unicorn kind of takes revenge, and it really attacks someone, and it attacks like their intestines. So it's like, it's very gory, but they're highlighting like the destruction that could happen. And that's why they have this deep regret that they can't show you the support and they can't go down this path the way that they want to. And you are a specific inspiration right now. This does not feel like it's in no contact necessarily. Feels like they're influenced by this daily or greatly. We have the 10 of Wands. Now we have a lot of Wands energy here, and I often say that fire is the most powerful element in tarot because it not only ignites something, but it can take on a life of its own. It can start to spiral out of control. It can consume us. It can destroy things. Here's the 10 of Pentacles, and that's what they're worried about, destruction. The 10 of Pentacles is a commitment cycle, and it doesn't necessarily speak to emotional development or emotional satisfaction, but it does speak to a lot of investment. Investment into family, investment into homes, investment financially, and that's what they're overthinking about. There's a card that I have in my collection that says, "You are my lighthouse, you are my storm," and this is what they're saying to me here. There's the Tower now. Look at how those flames got out of control and impacted, and I couldn't take it back. Once the Tower burns, I can't take it back. And then we have this Page of Pentacles, and it's a baby wearing little soft moccasins. So having to tread very lightly, maybe because of children. So they're saying it's not necessarily love in their environment that's keeping them at bay. It's actually maybe children, the responsibility of what they've built in those environments that is actually holding them back, which is the cause for all of this confession. But they wish that they could get down off this horse. They know that they have the freedom of choice, but they wish that they could get down off this horse because they feel like the environment that they're in, it's like going on horseback, because they're showing somebody on horseback, like in Dances with Wolves, where they're on horseback and they're trying to get a buffalo. But that must take an awful lot of skill and balance in order to actually hit your target. when you're in such fast motion like that. So they're overwhelmed by this inspiration. They're overwhelmed by the desires for you, and it's very, very physical. It's very like sexual coming through here, but they're like the claws are out. Now, of course, this is a very kind of expressive deck. There is some nudity in this deck. That's why I colored up some of the nudity with stickers. So just bear with me. Yeah, we have the death showing itself now here. And they're saying this, they don't want to hold back forever, but they're waiting. They're waiting for a perfect moment. They're waiting for an opportunity. They're waiting, perhaps they're waiting to see what happens with their responsibilities, but they're just waiting here because they can't stop thinking about you, but they also can't stop thinking about the consequences. So you are the inspiration that brings them to the lighthouse, but there's also the storm around the other lighthouse. It's like they've built this tower in and up around this lighthouse, and they're trying to brace themselves for the impact of their actions towards this other lighthouse over here. So in some ways, they're actually saying that they're protecting you from the same results that they're worried about. Here's the Knight of Cups. They are kind of claiming that they're in a challenging situation, because they're presenting themselves as this Knight of Cups, as someone who wants to bring forward a love offer filled with integrity, shiny armor. He or she doesn't want to have you see the dents in that armor. Have you have a negative opinion of them. They don't want you to have a negative opinion of them. They also care about the opinions of other people. So that is also one of the reasons why they hold back, because they're saying the claws are out. They keep saying that. They keep saying the claws are out. And they're referencing another divine feminine is what they're referencing. Now, it's all about energy, has nothing to do with gender. But for the ease of the execution of this reading, that's what the language that they're using. That the claws are out. Referencing the danger they also face in that environment. So they're kind of painting this picture, and it may be authentic, it may not be. It's all based on their subjective opinion of things, right? And they're never going to try to present themselves as being in a great situation and still wanting this connection. But they are saying, you know, the claws are out and I have to deal with this too. So I resist for my own safety and maybe for your safety as well. But they don't want to, and that's what they're trying to establish here, is that I don't want to. I have this desire, I have this wish for you. I want to manifest this. They would feel like a king or a queen if you were on their arm. They wonder if you could be the source of that emotional satisfaction. If they're only receiving the Ten of Pentacles, which is kind of practical satisfaction and practical security, they're wondering about if you are the key to that emotional fulfillment. That is sort of comes by the way of the fire realm, comes by the way of the sexual realm with you. Because they don't feel very satisfied in their environment. They feel like you could be the source of that, but they fantasize about this. Six of Pentacles. But again, and there's a deep knowing, like deep down, you may already know their situation. You may already know what holds them back, because there's a deep knowing here with the High Priestess, and she also sits upon information. She doesn't necessarily let the cat out of the bag all the time, in connection here to the Six of Pentacles. So they're not sharing their dissatisfaction in this Ten of Pentacles realm. They feel stuck in a karmic relationship, but they're also trying to maintain balance. They also don't know if it's possible to come forward right now, because there could be practical implications in the work realm for someone watching. So again, they're kind of painting a picture of a bit of a victimhood for them. It's like, I'm in a terrible situation. I wish that I could. I hold back because I'm worried about children, or I'm worried about the consequences. So I have to tread very softly so as not to disturb anything. But there's still want, so much want here. We have the Fool. And they're saying that not only is the inspiration a constant companion, but their fear is also a constant companion. They're really fearful of losing access to children, or access to their children. And that's a message that may be very specific for someone watching, because I am reading for the collective. But this message coming through is very, very clear. They keep saying that they hold back because they don't want to lose access to their children. And they keep bringing up the claws are out, the claws are out. So they're trying to present themselves as this knight in shining armor, and kind of trying to present themselves as well as having all of this integrity connected to not wanting to hurt or disrupt the family unit. Here's the Five of Wands, but you make them restless in that environment. There's the Three of Pentacles. And they didn't intend, they're saying, I didn't intend to have this opportunity show up for me now. There's a feeling of like there must be 100 people that would want to have you by their side. And I have all of this competition, which only makes them want to win more. But the problem is that there's the Empress. The problem is that they want to win in every environment. And they're already winning in some regards in this Hierophant position, in the Ten of Pentacles. Again, another reference to the work realm for someone watching. But you are like the temptation. A temptation that they should not want. A temptation that they try to suppress for themselves, or they try to hold themselves back. It's like they try not to see it, but they can't help but feel it. It says, I act happy, but I am not happy. What are some of their late night confessions, please? I can tell that you don't trust me, and I want to change that. Because they don't want to paint themselves in a negative light. It's like they want to paint themselves as someone who has never been impacted like this before. And that, again, may be very true. I don't know how to express my love, so I just keep it inside. I also just saw that I keep a close eye on your social media. We have a lot going on here. I was in denial. But the truth is that I am so attracted to you. You have no idea what you do to me. We have, I've been hurt by love before. It's coming in reverse. We have ... It's like they're not anticipating or really wanting to feel that pain in the future. And we have, it feels like something is missing without you around. They also, I just saw I reminisce a lot. So they reminisce a lot about times where the two of you were interacting. It doesn't feel like it's a no contact though. They struggle with this now in a very real way. I do talk about you. And I think they try, I think honestly there's already jealousy connected to you. I feel like if there is another divine feminine, for instance, that's where the claws are coming out. There's already in the past been an influence or been, and maybe they were talking about you in a very innocent way, but their partner, for instance, might have picked up on some type of attachment. So they denied. But they're bringing my attention back to, I should have been more honest from the start. So I want commitment with you, but just not yet. And that is definitely speaking to the Temperance and the Death. They're saying it won't be like this forever. I'm just waiting for a change. Eventually, maybe they're planning on ending this, but they keep bringing up this aspect of family or children. I have a gift for you. Ooh, and it's coming, but they say it can't come in right now. It's going to come in the future. Please wait on me. Just don't give up on me. ... But there could be more to come in this attraction. They're saying that they're claiming like that they didn't see the signs coming, or that they didn't see the attraction at first, but I think that they're actually lying about that, to be honest with you. Here's some of the confessions, please. My confessions of their feelings. We have all must have its prizes. I'm trying to please everyone. We have the dodo bird, and the dodo bird is famous for extinction, but it's also kind of got a reputation of being not intelligent, and that's what created the extinction overall. I also feel like she's holding a salt shaker. I always see a salt shaker. It feels like salt in the wounds. Now the salt is also a symbol of purification. So having to cleanse something, having to purify something before I can have this and have this connection. Forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. Again, connected to perhaps children with the fawn. But Spirit says they can see. Truthfully, Spirit says no matter what excuse we come up with for hesitation, sometimes it just trickles down to fear. They're saying they kind of see through that. Not that that doesn't have a huge impact, because they're saying it's almost like a life force for them. Like it does have an impact on them quite heavily, but they need time. It says pressure, time in a rush. but you are the influence that's got everything moving, that gets them inspired to create change perhaps in their environments. We have a separation. Time apart is on the horizon, and they don't know if it's safe for them to love. Give and receive the energy, or open your heart and give and receive the highest energy of all. Back of the deck says, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life, which is actually sort of ironic, because that movie that I mentioned, Death of a Unicorn, they use this exact image in the folklore of that movie. They use this exact image of the unicorn that needs to be freed from its paddock. So, and it's all collared up, so it's like they can't say what they want to say. They feel like they're kind of in this paddock, or they're surrounded by foundations that were supposed to create security for them overall. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 2. Any more late night confessions? Something that they do not feel like they can say out loud in honesty. Here is the High Priestess, again, sitting upon secrets. King of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini coming through, and there's the Nine of Wands. Just a lot of resistance, sitting in limbo. It's like I can't give a time frame as to when I'm going to act when everything's in limbo, because I'm holding back. I think that they're paranoid, and they're paranoid right now because they've been defensive about this connection in the past. I feel like somebody's already kind of called them out for attraction, and they've been very defensive and feigned some innocence. In the charm bowl today, we have believe. We have T, W. We have I, A, and O. We also have here the Star of Aquarius for divine feminine, so you could be in Aquarius energy. They're showing like someone very tall and slim. We also have the key, having to look above. It's kind of flying high here with the wings. We have a reference to little girls, perhaps, with the Minnie Mouse bow. Somebody who thinks really highly of you. Also think of somebody with a really high voice. We also have a wrench in our plans, and it could be maybe a child. They could be a father figure, a mother figure, for instance. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading with me, and be sure to hit your notification bell, to share this video, to like this video as well. You'll also could look at my links below for Instagram, for TikTok. I do have an Etsy link below there as well for a personal reading, and I do update that shop daily. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to this card that says, I want to explore my dark side with you. And this is your reading. What are the late night confessions of the person on your mind? The truth that they cannot say out loud. So this, the fuzzy handcuffs can speak to something very physical, very sexual, of course, but also punishment, getting caught for something as well. So this could be a huge aspect of your reading for you, pile 3. But I'm going to use the Golden Tarot for you today. Confessions from this person here. We are starting with the Page of Cups. We have the Page of Swords. They watch you safely from a distance, or they present themselves safely from a distance. It's not that they haven't been inspired to take action towards you. It's that they have been taking a very passive approach because they're waiting for something. Perhaps strength. Here with the Strength energy. We also have here the Queen of Swords. We have the Five of Swords. And we also have the Nine of Swords coming out here as well. Back of the deck, we have the Five of Cups and the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups can speak to nostalgia. It can speak to idolizing the past. There could be a no-contact situation here. But it doesn't have to be a no-contact situation. It's not screaming that. It's not an overarching theme that exists. They want you to know that they don't hold back because of you in any type of way. First of all, they feel very impulsive and very restless. They get inspired a lot, but it's emotional inspiration. It's not just physical, but they may feel like that's a buffer zone for them because they are bringing in a lot of physical qualities to how they feel. But it's, again, we don't have wands up here necessarily. We have a lot of cups instead. We have a lot of thought going into the situation. But now we have this Knight of Wands coming up, supporting the emotional thoughts that are bringing up. So it's like in their mind, they interpret this desire, or they interpret this inspiration as something very physical, a need that needs to be filled. It's like a need that needs to be filled. And that's what they keep saying. It's like, this is a need. I want to be impulsive, but it's reckless, and they're worried about that. So they watch from a safe distance. Here's the Eight of Wands, but they don't want to because they feel a magnetic force. They don't want to just watch, they want to act. But they feel this magnetic force. It's like, I'm losing control, though. It's like a ball that gets kicked downhill and then it goes too far and I lose control of it. And everything snowballs. And they wonder if they're strong enough. They're kind of they're intimidated by this connection. They're intimidated by the divine feminine. And honestly, the reasons why they have to keep this all a secret, we have the Three of Pentacles, we have the Six of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Judgment. Like, they almost feel guilty or bad about this because they are in new foundations, or they could be married with the Six of Wands, with the Three of Pentacles. There's just a competition for the focus that maybe shouldn't exist there. And they worry about everything. They worry about that foundation. They worry about the attraction to you. Like, there's just a lot going on with this pull. So we're going to try to get a simpler, because they have concern for the home, and there's the Devil. They cannot say this out loud. Otherwise, it creates arguments and discord and conflict. And they're like, there's no winner in that. And they're just saying, I just can't say it yet. I just can't do it yet. They keep saying yet to me. I just can't do what I want yet. I don't know if I'm strong enough to handle what comes next, to handle the conflict. And I can't deny that, you know, the Five of Swords can be a card where we can tell ourselves or gaslight ourselves into believing that the conflict is too much to overcome. Or we can gaslight ourselves and other people into believing that we need that much time, because it's actually an act of self-preservation. But they're very conflicted. There's the Five of Swords again, and with the Three of Swords, they're highlighting the Eight of Swords and feeling stuck. And they're saying, I know I put myself in this position. They're not trying to necessarily feign innocence, but they know they put themselves in this situation. There could be third party here, and they're afraid of getting caught. And they know that that leaves nobody happy. Like, there's no winner at this moment. Nobody is happy. There's a huge emphasis on Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, especially for divine masculine energy. And so they have to act like they're over it. They have to act like this doesn't impact them anymore. And they are referencing reunions. So the two of you could have been connected in the past. But it's like, maybe we've transitioned, but there's been no clarity. Maybe we've taken a break and now I can't return. But they keep wanting to return to you. They keep wanting to be generous with you, to give you this information, to clarify how they feel. And they're calling it, like, what they're calling it is closure, but it's not actually closure. There's no closure here, because they don't want closure. They want momentum. They want more. But they're calling it that to, again, feign some type of innocence here with the Six of Cups. They know that they're not supporting you in a way that you want them to, or that they're not acting towards you in a way that you want them to. And they're bringing forward that apology and regret. And they hate disappointing you. I feel like they hate to disappoint other people regardless. They feel like they're disappointing you. There's the Queen of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. And again, they're very intimidated by divine feminine influence. And if the divine feminine doesn't have to reference gender, it's just about the presence that she creates. Authority, willingness to cut people out. There's a lot of concern for that. But the truth is that if they think that they're hiding the discord, or if they think that they're not, that there aren't any concerns for other people, they're wrong. They're wrong about that. There's already seeds sown there. Ooh, just had an explosion. We have the Seven of Pentacles and we have the Page of Wands. And they're saying right now, all I have to give is this passion. All I have to give is the passionate reflection. But what I want is this. That's not, they don't actually just want the physical with you. They may be highlighting that. On the floor, we had a bit of an explosion. So I just wanted to show some of the cards that revealed themselves to us. And Six of Cups, Seven of Cups. A lot of confusion, especially if this is like a past connection. But now we have the Page of Cups reversed. We have the Two of Pentacles reversed. They're saying that sometimes, if they were being honest with you about the impact that you've had, they say that sometimes they act kind of like a jerk to current partners because they have an inability to handle the emotional toll of trying to juggle what they're juggling and this attraction that they have for you. So sometimes they kind of act like a jerk. It's almost like, it's like when they get inspired by you, it puts them in a bad mood and they direct that bad mood towards the people in their life. And it kind of fuels insecurity into those people. And so that's why they want to confess this, because they say they don't like the version of themselves that they become when they hold themselves back, because they know what they actually want, but they're not able to have it, or they're not able to express it. And instead of sort of looking inward, again, the Five of Swords is meant to self-preserve. The ego is trying to stop us from blaming ourselves. And so instead of blaming themselves for putting themselves in this prison, they sometimes project that out at the people around them, and they look out and say, well, you're the problem. That's why I'm stuck and I can't have what I want, which is you. It's not necessarily a fair assessment. They're being honest with themselves here as well, digging deep into their subconscious. They're being honest about it. But this is why I sometimes, act like a jerk, or this is sometimes why I act like a brat in that environment. Because they're trying to seed something in that environment too. They're trying to sow a little bit of discord, because regardless of whether we're trying to suppress it or not, it's like bobbing for apples. The apple will pop up. What we're trying to push below the surface is always going to pop up like a beach ball trying to be pushed down. Because they wonder now, and they can't stop thinking about this with the Nine of Swords. They wonder if you are an upgrade, if they would be happier with you, if they would be more satisfied with you, if they would feel at peace with you. And I feel like everybody wants that. Everybody's desperate for that peace, but they feel like you are the location, you are the person that holds that peace for them. Now, Spirit's always adamant that we can't find happiness within someone else, because that is an inside job for us. People can add to our happiness. People can make our lives better and easier. So they do struggle with this attraction quite a bit. And that's why they feel like it's wrong of them. It's almost like an act of self-punishment too, by holding themselves back and then projecting their frustration outward. It's like an act of self-punishment, because they feel wrong for doing it and they're afraid of getting caught for it. But despite all the fire, there is still this really strong desire to be open and honest with you. There's a really strong desire to have an emotional connection with you. You could be from their past. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's in no contact, but you could be from their past. I need more balance, and I need to speak to a professional, seeking professional advice. Now, this could be speaking about counselors or lawyers, somebody that can deal with the practical aspects of their obstacles. But we have listened to your heart and think before you act. But back of the deck already says gossip only hurts more. So they're concerned about the effect that this will have on people's opinions of them. That's why these are confessions that they have in the evening. Now, when they seek professional advice, especially if they move into, the counseling realm, a good counselor will always encourage you to reflect upon what the heart wants, but then also encourage you to act, perhaps think before you act, but then act upon it. So it's like they know what they have to do, They just don't know how or when or if they're capable of it. They are capitalizing upon strength here in the center of the reading. They don't know if they're strong enough, but that's what it's going to require for them to explore a different side of themselves. And it's only a quote-unquote dark side right now because they're pushing it below the surface. They're turning it into something dark. Let me hold you, but it feels like a secret. And the truth is that Spirit doesn't really care where we land. They just care about how we get there. They care about the walk. If we lead with integrity, if we lead with honesty. The idea of commitment cycles collectively is we've created this collective idea of commitment cycles. But we've sort of put the commitment to ourselves in the back seat and prioritized the commitment with others. But there are mirrors there. You represent an emerging idea, an initiation, a passion, which has the potential to create a lot of flame, a lot of sparks, which can consume. We have you are right. I do think about getting you drunk, lowering our inhibitions. Now the 15 wanted to come reverse, which is like the devil reverse, which can speak to someone who feels like they have a negative attachment they have to get away from, or a negative influence they have to get away from. This is like, I want you. They want you in such a physical, almost carnal way. But again, I feel like that is minimizing the emotional impact that they are assuming will come along with that fire. Because they do feel like there is something emotional, an emotional truth that might almost be released if they were able to explore it with you, but they don't feel like they can, otherwise they could get into a lot of trouble. We have back of deck says, I feel the same way and you make me want to do bad things, here on the back of deck. We have romantic feelings. These feelings are real and worth exploring. Interesting that you are drawn to the exploration card with the dark side. We have past life relationship. You've known each other before. There isn't a reference to that with the 6 of Cups, so please take that as it resonates. I am reading for the collective. I just saw separation. We have heart-to-heart conversations are needed to honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Back of the deck says trust. The situation is calling for us to have faith because they can't act in this moment, because they do feel like it's necessity to hold themselves back. It's like they're asking for you to trust what they say and not what they do. What are their complete confessions, please? We have impossible things. I believe this came in pile 2 as well. Working through disbelief and imaginative leaps. I did hear the reference to, I heard twinkle in your father's eye earlier in this reading. And now we have the rocking horse. So there could be a reference to children for someone watching. They do have a fear of loss that are impacting decisions that they're making, feeling kind of torn in different directions. We have nature communication. It says elemental messengers. So even if they're not speaking to you right now, or even if there's not a lot of communication in this way, they do feel like they're kind of sending thought shapes, or they're sending impressions towards you that are quite impactful. And we have belong to your own dream, create your own life. But do not drink the poison. Do not do things that you know are bad for you. Moving into something that could be reckless, moving into a connection that could make them have a lot of consequences that they will have to face. So they fantasize about this. They fantasize about the upgrades that they wonder or are curious could be available to them here. Specifically upgrades, emotional upgrades, but also even physical, sexual upgrades as well. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3, Late Night Confessions. We have the Page of Wands now coming in reverse, the 7 of Wands, and the 5 of Cups. It's like they have a lot of regrets. There's a lot of there's a regret that they didn't support this, or they didn't transition this connection into something more. And this could be coming in from the past for someone watching as well. They still have a lot of shadow work to do. They still fantasize very heavily about this connection too, and about opportunity that they missed, or that they wish that they could take on in this moment. They're talking about school days for someone too in the bowl, struggling with immaturity. Now, Spirit says they may still struggle with some of that immaturity in the present tense as well, but they're talking about the reasons why they didn't act in the past, which they have a lot of regret for, is because of immaturity. I think that they're struggling in their life in general, and this presents a much more favorable option for them. We have I will and I can, and we have she believed she could, so she did. We have SLS, we have Cancer. There's a lot of nostalgia surrounding music and songs connected to you. Someone could have a song connected to their name. We also have the Hand of Hamza. All right, pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell and your share button and your like button. It helps me to bring you more content. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading. I also have other links there for TikTok, for Instagram. You can check me out there as well. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.